Sydney Sweeney.
You like that? I know he likes that. All right. I did my move.
Did you actually did? You know what you need to do? A big Taylor Swift heart. Not a little one, but a big one.
I got an angled heart.
All right, moving right along.
Welcome in. This is episode 4 of Mostly Peaceful with Dan and Chris. My name's Chris Hand. This is Dan Mandis to my left. And guys, the haters said this show wouldn't last. They said we wouldn't make it past 3 episodes, and we've defied the odds, and we're here. Number 4. It's my favorite number, by the way. What's your favorite number? Do you have a favorite number?
No. Why would I have a favorite number? Who has a favorite number?
Everybody.
Really?
Yeah. I actually find it odd.
Why is the number 4 your favorite number?
Bobby Orr, the greatest defenseman to ever play. And he should have been a part-time owner of the Bruins, but his sleazeball agent hid that part of the contract from him because the agent made more money by sending him to the Blackhawks at the end.
So that's a baseball reference?
It's a hockey player.
Got it. Okay.
Boston Bruins, Bobby Orr.
Lost me.
Number 4. Greatest defenseman of all time.
This conversation is almost as fascinating to me as our wrestling conversation. So let's just move on.
Dusty Rhodes, baby. Son of a plumber. All right, so we got a lot to cover today, and we're grateful for you guys listening to us wherever you are, on Apple, Spotify, or on YouTube or Rumble. Welcome in. This is Mostly Peaceful. I think one of the most insane stories of the week, and you tell me if I'm wrong, has been the Sydney Sweeney.
Oh, it's been insane. It's been a lot of fun because, number one, I think that America is back to normal when it comes to what we're seeing in ads, and we'll get into that. But number 2 is just the insanity of the reactions of people. I'm not even going to say on the left. I just think that there are people that are out there, even if they don't have any political affiliation whatsoever, they're just off on their reaction to a blonde, blue-eyed, beautiful, well-proportioned woman actually in an ad. This is not a bad thing.
I feel like these people walk around looking for things to be outraged at.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what am I going to be pissed off about today? And if you live your life getting mad about a Gene commercial, I don't think you're having, like, a great life.
No. And so do we want to play a couple of the clips from the commercial?
Yes. So first, let's start with Good Morning America. They covered the ad. They played portions of it, so that'll kind of dot that I, cross that T. But Good Morning America, this was the first clip I saw referencing the ad. I hadn't even seen the ad yet.
Okay.
This is Good Morning America.
Time to check the pulse. We begin with the backlash over a new ad campaign featuring actress Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah, the ads are for American Eagle, and the tagline is, Sydney Sweeney has great genes. Now, in one ad, the blonde-haired, blue-eyed actress talks about genes as in DNA being passed down from her parents.
The play on words is being compared to Nazi propaganda with racial undertones.
The pun, good genes, activates troubling historical associations for this country. The American eugenics movement in its prime between 1900 and 1940 weaponized the idea of good genes just to justify white supremacism.
Despite that backlash, American Eagle stock has been soaring.
Oh, you think?
Weird. I love, have you ever played the game, Is It Racist? Mm-hmm. You can go on Google and you can type in anything. You can say, wallpaper, is it racist? And you'll find reasons why wallpaper is racist. And Good Morning America just let us know puns are also racist.
Here's the deal, is that the outrage machine in this country must always be fed, right? Yeah. So there are people that get to appear on podcasts and Good Morning America. Everybody's got a TikTok account.
Yep.
And so if they're not bitching, if they're not complaining, well, then they've got nothing to say.
Yeah.
Right? So the folks, there's a couple of things. Number one is all these women on TikTok that are complaining about this ad. And if we could roll one of those.
They all have something in common. Have you noticed that?
They look nothing like Sydney Sweeney.
No.
That's number one.
I think a few of the videos you could describe them as, I don't know if it's politically correct, but I would say land whales. I would say that's
Sure.
one of the ways I would
Land
describe it.
whales, and all of them have the septum rings.
They do, yeah, like the bull
the bull
ring.
Yeah, I mean, you could not look any more opposite of Sydney Sweeney as these women who are complaining about her ad. And so let's roll. I think, do we have just one?
Yeah, so this is right underneath. You'll see it highlighted, Mason. It's this woman saying not only is it racist, but apparently it's also referencing a Brooke Shields ad. So she's going back in time. She's very upset that
Early
they would
80s.
even reference anything from the 80s as well. But she's also calling the company very, very racist, Aryan Eagle.
I'll be the friend that's too woke because those Sydney Sweeney American Eagle ads are weird. Like fascist weird. Like Nazi propaganda weird.
My body's composition is determined by my genes. Hey, eyes up here.
Sydney Sweeney has very genes.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
Sydney Sweeney has very genes.
Should we be surprised that a company whose name is literally American Eagle is making fascist propaganda like this? Probably not, but it's still really shocking. Like, a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white woman is talking about her good genes. Like, that is Nazi propaganda. I also am thinking about, like, all of the young girls who are doing their back-to-school shopping right now at places like American Eagle who are seeing ads like this. Yikes. Also, American Eagle is mostly a brand that, like, teenagers to, like, young adults shop at, and so the fact that, like, this type of advertising is being used that feels so for the male gaze and so over sexualized, like, I just don't like it. I don't like it even a little bit. Bro, and I haven't even mentioned the fact that this entire ad campaign that Sydney Sweeney is doing right now is incredibly reminiscent to the Brooke Shields Calvin Klein jeans ad campaign that she did when she was 14 years old. That was extremely over-sexualized and weird. Yeah. Why are we referencing that?
Cut it. We've heard enough from her.
Oh, we've heard quite enough. You know, what's interesting, a number of things. And look, I'm going to tell you that I don't feel comfortable calling people ugly because I'm certainly not anything to look at. But if they're going to comment on Sydney Sweeney, then that leaves them open.
It completely opens them up to it.
To criticism. So these women, number one, I don't think that they would even come close, some of them, to fitting into Sydney Sweeney's jeans from American Eagle. No. That's number one. But number two is they're referencing the whole Brooke Shields ads from way back when.
And that was Calvin Klein. That's like...
That was Calvin Klein, and that was back in the early 80s. And so, whatever. I'm having a hard time seeing the correlation, but whatever. But here's the other thing. Can we just stop with the Nazis around every corner?
They are.
I don't understand.
You know who would say something like that? A Nazi.
It's exactly right. I must have proven myself to be a Nazi. Here's the other thing, though, is that when you look at all of this outrage, because that's what it is, it's outrage marketing. That's what I call it, outrage marketing.
I thought that was a great line. I heard you say that the other day.
American Eagle should send all of these women a check because they sold so many pairs of jeans of American Eagle.
Yep.
And Sydney Sweeney is laughing all the way to the bank.
100%.
I mean, yeah. And listen, we have, over the last 4 or 5 years, we have seen obese women in these kinds of ads. We have seen women that are like skinny, like 12-year-old boys. We've seen pregnant men in these ads.
Yeah.
So suddenly there's all of this outrage over Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah.
Saying that she has good genes, and it's a double entendre. So I don't know why it is or what it is that they don't understand, but this whole thing in America where, again, there's a Nazi around every corner and there's Hitler in the White House, just stop it because you have lost all credibility. It's so old.
No, and you're spot on. Savannah Hernandez,
Oh, yeah,
Sav.
yeah.
So she is of Asian descent and Hispanic, and she's great investigative reporter. But she said on X, we had to endure black girl magic and black is king for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
But one Sydney Sweeney has good genes ad, and the entire media is melting down. Pathetic. That's what this really is. And it's a pun on genes, but they're really angry that she has blonde hair and blue eyes.
Yeah.
That's really what it is.
Well, because it's Aryan.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny what Mark Lamont Hill said.
Yeah. Was
This
it
was
funny or
on-
was it unhinged?
It was unhinged. Yes, it was absolutely unhinged and delusional. He was on with Pierce Morgan, and so we're going to play a little bit of that audio, Mason, that video, because it is absolutely worth highlighting. Mark Lamont Hill.
You used the word normal and talked about it in the context of this white woman. White women are normal, but so are other people. The problem is, historically, we have only normalized white people. And so we've made white women's bodies, white male bodies, the norm. And we've made everything else less human, less beautiful, less real. And so when we say good genes are the ones that—
What a load of crap.
So I love how Pierce Morgan comes in after what a load of crap. Now, Mark Lamont Hill, now he is one of these race baiters, right? So, but he says over all these years, we've normalized white women's bodies and white male bodies and so on and so forth. I don't even know what that means.
No. And also, first of all, it's a European culture, and for many, many years, the population was dominantly white. So the ads reflect the population, just like they do in Japan. You see a lot of Japanese ads. Now, that being said, over the past few years, we've seen a lot more normalization of all sorts of things in advertisements.
Yes.
This isn't discounting. You're going to see a black person on the next commercial. You're going to see an Asian person on the next commercial. You'll see an Asian mom with a white dad in the Cheerios commercial, or a black mom and a white dad on, whatever they're advertising. It's like, this is so ridiculous on every level. They're mad that there was a commercial with a white woman with blonde hair and blue eyes.
And they're going to have to get over it, because I would be willing to bet that American Eagle has sold a hell of a lot more jeans than the obese woman that was, in the jeans ad from a few years ago.
Or what is it? Look at what happened to Jaguar a couple months back. They did that ridiculous ad campaign that was so woke. They didn't even feature a car, and they saw their sales plummet.
Yeah, because it was dumb and people didn't understand it.
Yeah.
And, for me, if you are, it didn't show the car.
No,
and
it's
they
just
were
like,
all,
what are you doing?
They were all dressed. I don't even know. It's like they were dressed
like for the Met Gala.
Yeah, for the Met Gala. That's exactly right. And so I think Americans, by and large, we're just normal. You know what I mean?
Yep.
We're just normal. And so if we see a blonde-haired, blue-eyed, attractive female in a jeans ad, well, that all makes sense. And you said it perfectly. We're not discounting all the other people that have been, in these ads over the last couple of years. You had Dylan Mulvaney, for the love of Pete. You know what I mean? So
they scream and they yell and they beg for inclusion, and then when you include a white person, they go, "Not that." That's not what we meant. That's not what we meant. No, the whole thing is just ridiculous.
All right, so I think for Sydney Sweeney, I think they're laughing all the way to the bank. They planned on all of this. It was part of the marketing campaign. Congratulations to American Eagle, and 2 thumbs up for Sydney Sweeney. And thank you for reminding us that your eyes are up here.
Yeah, I don't think she's that attractive.
She is attractive. Now
I'm not saying she's ugly.
Yeah, well,
I just think that there's so much hype built up around her being like this bombshell, and I don't think she is.
Hey, can we go from one ridiculous story to another?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Is Cory Booker?
Yeah, well, it kind of ties into the Sydney Sweeney thing.
It does.
All the Democrats have been doing in these past few weeks is like, we got to reach those male voters.
Yep.
Why do we have a problem with young male voters? This is crazy.
We've got to spend millions of dollars
on a study. They did a study. And then they all attack this girl that millions of young men look at and think is gorgeous.
Yeah, doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And here's the thing. So we're going to segue to Cory Booker.
Yeah.
Where Senator from New Jersey,
He's
And-
really turning up the masculinity is what he's trying to do.
Oh, the toxic masculinity was everywhere.
He's trying to be like a real tough guy now.
He's sticking up for Jersey.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen,
This is Jersey.
I'm standing up for Jersey. So if you're not familiar with the story, Cory Booker is a New Jersey senator, and he gets in a little tiff with a couple of other senators, female senators, and now this is important.
And they're Democrats.
Democrats. Amy
It's-
Klobuchar is
Yep,
one.
Klobuchar is one. And who's the other one?
Is it Cortez?
Catherine Cortez Masto. Yep.
So
2 senators.
they get in a little bit of a tiff, the three of them, the 2 female senators against Cory Booker. And Booker, he gets up onto the Senate floor and he has an absolute meltdown.
Full Spartacus.
He goes full Spartacus.
You never go full Spartacus.
You never go full Spartacus. Let's Mason, let's see some of that on Cory Booker on the Senate floor.
I see law firms bending a knee to this president, not caring about the larger principles, that those free speech rights, that you could take on any client, why are you bending the knee? I see universities that should be bastions of free speech bending at the knee to this president. I see businesses taking late-night talk show hosts off the air because they dare to insult a president. I see people who want mergers suddenly think that they have to pay tribute to this president. And what are the very people here elected to defend the Constitution of the United States saying, oh, well, today, let's look the other way and pass some resources that won't go to Connecticut, that won't go to Illinois, that won't go to New York, that will go to the states he likes.
All right, so
He's an angry little guy.
he is an angry little guy, and part of this, of course, you look at the facial distortions
Oh, and
and
he's
the eyes.
spitting and he's
Yes.
the hand gestures. He's just a nut.
Can I ask a question, though?
Yes.
So where are the hand-wringing, pearl-clutching Democrats where this guy, angry man, toxic masculinity,
Yeah.
he's berating a couple of women? Yeah. So how is that suddenly okay in the Democrat Party?
No, if you're a Democrat, you actually cheer when men beat women. Don't you know that?
I must have missed that.
We've seen it over and over again with men and women's sports.
You're absolutely right.
We saw it with the boxing in the Olympics.
Yep.
It's actually, as long as you're a Democrat,
Yes.
you are allowed to support men beating women, I think.
You know the thing with Cory Booker and all of this is, one, I think that this whole thing was nothing but a charade.
Yeah.
This whole thing was planned. Dude is getting ready to run for the presidency in 2028.
Best of luck. He doesn't have a shot in hell. Kamala Harris is far better suited to be the Democrat nominee than Cory Booker.
Well, and here's the thing with, yes, good luck with that one.
Yeah.
And I'll get back to that in a second. But with Cory Booker, this whole thing was planned.
Yeah.
Because he had nothing to say when this, by the way, this is a bipartisan, do you know what he was pissed off about? They're arguing over a bipartisan, and that is important because he set up on the Senate floor,
You're bending the knee to Trump.
Yeah. But he's decrying, when are we all going to stand together or something like that. This was a bipartisan piece of legislation to fund law enforcement.
There's your issue.
To fund not only law enforcement, but also their mental health, whatever. I mean, it's
love how
to help law enforcement.
But he goes down the line. He goes, law firms are bending the knee to Trump. It's like, okay, do you want to lose another lawsuit? Because everybody's losing these lawsuits.
Everyone.
Universities used to be bastions of free speech. It's like,
really?
Couple months ago, they weren't letting Jewish kids on campus. I don't know if anybody forgot about that.
And they're also destroying the Republican booths when they would have the booths around the campus.
With the stuff that we do with Turning Point, so many instances. There was an event with Brandon Tatum, and Antifa shows up on campus.
Oh, yeah.
And they took his whole booth. They took it. Police are standing there. They don't do anything about it. I think it was at UCLA.
Riley Gaines. Remember when Riley Gaines? She went to go speak at a university in California.
That was UCLA too.
Was that UCLA?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
And so I think it was Northern California. It may have been Northern California, but you fact check me on that. But as Cory Booker is saying, oh yeah, we used to have free speech on campuses. We really didn't. Not if you were a Republican. Not if you were somebody like Riley Gaines or Ben Shapiro is another one that has been run off campus. So I don't know.
Riley Gaines was San Francisco State University.
San Francisco State University. And you're right. The cops didn't do a damn thing.
They never do.
Yeah. You got all these lunatics that are trying to break the door down.
And I do feel bad for the cops in that situation. They are in a no-win situation in those states.
Yeah, because they're being given orders to stand down.
Yep.
And they see someone like Riley Gaines literally being physically threatened by these Antifa lunatics, and they can't or won't do anything.
And the Antifa lunatics always wear masks, by the way.
They sure do. So Antifa can wear masks when they're attacking innocent people, yet ICE is not allowed to wear masks.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So
I don't mean to go off on a tangent, but did you see the LA mayor tweeted out that they're about to have the lowest homicide rate in LA in like 60 years?
No, I did not.
So she tweeted that out, like she was like dunking, like LA's doing something good. It's like, hey, you know what might contribute to that? ICE agents getting rid of all your gang
murderers.
Members, your terrorists, your murderers.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And they're afraid to go outside.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So everybody's diving under cover.
Maybe that is part of it.
Well done, Karen Bass.
Yeah.
So Cory Booker. So I think he is getting ready to run for the presidency. And I think, don't forget, this is also the guy that did a 25-hour filibuster in the Senate as well.
Yep.
So I think that he's getting a reputation as just an absolutely epic blowhard. Now, I don't know if you saw this.
I thought you were going to say total ass.
That works too, actually.
Yeah.
You can even put the hole in there too if you want to. So here's the great thing, though, is that for the Democrats, I don't know if you saw this. This was in the news where polling has come out now, and Kamala Harris announced this week she is not going to be running for the governorship of California.
Right.
Everybody's saying, well, then this is going to open her up to run for the presidency again in 2028. Polling has come out now. Do you know who the top contender is for the Democrats right now?
I do know because you told me this morning.
Pete Buttigieg.
I know.
16%. Kamala Harris is at 13%.
I mean, how bad do you have to be for Pete Buttigieg, a failed mayor of a small town, to be getting a better percentage? He didn't do anything as the Secretary of Transportation.
He didn't do anything.
I mean, you look at what Duffy's doing now with trying to fix
air traffic controllers and all that.
And all that. Buttigieg was running around worried about racist bridges. Remember that?
Racist bridges, racist roads, racist highways. Everything was racist, trying to fit the DEI quotas.
And then he took off 2 months because he bought a baby.
Yeah. Yes, he did.
He did.
By the way, Cory Booker, do you know why his veins are popping out of his head and he's screaming at the top of his lungs to a couple of female senators, which nobody seems to have a problem with?
Is it because he got a booster?
No, it's because, although it could be, he came in at 3% in that polling.
Oh.
So
how bad must that hurt when your party is so unpopular and you are at the bottom?
Well, and the thing is, he's trying to act all tough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I keep making the joke about toxic masculinity, but the thing is, that's how he is acting, and nobody in the Democrat Party apparently has a problem with that toxic masculinity. Maybe it's because he's black. Maybe. Could possibly be.
It's always the victim Olympics. It depends
always
on
with
which boxes you have checked.
Yep.
That depends on your ranking in the Democrat Party.
I was going to say, or it's because he's a Democrat.
Yeah.
One of the two.
Well, he's got both those boxes.
We sure do.
You hear Chuck Schumer? This is another problem with the leadership of the Democrats. They're constantly just screaming into the void things we know are just inherently false. He found a podium and he wanted to let everybody know that Republicans don't want people of color to vote. We don't believe in democracy, and Democrats do. And it's so funny because with all the stuff that we're seeing with the Russiagate revelations, and it's stuff we knew, it's really awkward to cover that. I don't know if you feel the same way.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like we've discussed this before. I was like, I feel like I've heard Phil Valentine say this exact same monologue.
Yep.
Because we've known about this for years, but the receipts are coming in, and it's like, you guys really threaten this democracy.
Oh, yeah. They're the ones that were calling conservatives and J6ers and all that threats to democracy.
Yeah.
They literally tried to overthrow the government.
And they hamstrung him for 2 years because of all the Russia.
That's exactly
So
right.
Chuck Schumer found a podium, and then he forgot how podiums work, and he like turns around halfway through the
Yes.
clip. But he's at the podium, and he goes, the Republicans want to bring back Jim Crow. We don't want people of color to vote, and we don't believe in democracy.
It's been clear. When we fight for democracy, when we protect democracy, we got to fight fire with fire. We're not going to stand idly by, as Maya said. We're not going to let them revert to Jim Crow. And if you don't think they want to revert to Jim Crow, just look what they did in the SAVE Act, which went back to took Jim Crow for the whole nation.
Everybody gets Jim Crow.
Making it hard. They said you need ID, and they made it so hard to show ID that probably half the people in America couldn't vote. We wouldn't let it pass.
Half the people in America don't have IDs to vote.
Yeah, it just...
You can't make it through a Schumer clip the whole way through without just wanting to bang your head up against the wall.
How stupid does he think people are? But you see, this is the problem with the Democrat Party, is that they constantly insult the intelligence of the American people.
Well, they did it. Remember they moved the All-Star game out of Atlanta because of Jim Crow?
Oh, yeah.
And then it was like a couple years later, it's like, oh, no, never mind. Atlanta's fine again.
That was nothing.
Yeah, we don't
Our
care.
bad.
But he's pulling an Oprah out there. He's like, they didn't just do Jim Crow for the South. They gave you Jim Crow, and they gave you Jim Crow, and they gave you Jim Crow.
Well, and the thing is, I mean, I feel like it's a dumb exercise to go through what actually happened during Jim Crow and walking into a place to vote and showing your ID.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
Well, it's
It
also
is insulting the intelligence of the American people.
Well, and it's the bigotry of low expectations.
It is.
Black people don't know how to get IDs. It's like, dude, are we doing this? Like, I worked in hip-hop radio for years and years and years, and the bigotry of low expectations really infuriates me because some of my biggest mentors and guys that I learned the most from in radio were black guys.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for everything they taught me. But, like, not for 1 second did I ever say, hey, bud, do you need help getting an ID? Do you know what I mean? Like, could you imagine the look on the face? If I said to one of my, I have a couple cousins that are black. They were adopted. They're great. I love them. But if I went up to Martin and I said, hey, Martin, I've been hearing this stuff that it's really hard for you guys to get IDs. I'm going to fix that. He'd be like, you better shut the bleep up. Like,
well, and here's the other thing. If getting an ID is such a problem, well, then figure out where it is that these folks don't have IDs and have some sort of, big community event where they can easily get IDs.
You could fix it so quickly.
Obviously, they're trying to leave the door open so that they can cheat. I mean, that's obvious.
Yeah.
And
but like you said, we know that they've cheated. We've seen that they've cheated numerous times. Illegal aliens voting, fake voters, dead voters on the rolls, all the things. But then he continues in this rant and he says that it's the Republicans that don't care about democracy. Roll the tape.
Because these guys are undoing everything in every way they can. They don't want poor people to vote. They don't want people of color to vote. They don't want Democrats to vote.
I do agree with them on the Democrat part.
We do.
Samesies.
They don't believe in democracy. We do.
I love how he says that Republicans don't want black people to vote when Donald Trump got a massive amount of black vote.
Byron Donalds, Wesley Hunt, Scott Turner, the HUD director.
Yep.
We could go down the line.
Ben Carson. I'm going down the
Like,
line. Yeah.
He's calling Candace Owens all the time. Please
Yes.
stop talking about Brigitte penis.
Oh, that is so funny. But as far as Schumer goes, I feel like the 1960s called.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I don't believe outside of the Republicans are racist cult. I just think that the majority of the black community just look at this and say, is that how low your expectations are of us?
Yeah.
The bigotry of low expectations. And I guess part of my thing is, why is it that you got a whole bunch of white folks like me and you who are saying, who are saying, look, black folks are really smart and they're certainly able to get ID.
Yeah.
Why isn't the black community up in arms and saying, Chuck, Democrats, look, we have ID. Why is there not this massive uprising of the black community telling the Democrats how racist they're being. And oh, wait, we did have an election in 2024 where Donald Trump got a lot of black support.
I think that there is that. You can look at organizations like Blexit.
Yeah.
You know, my buddy Pierre Wilson runs that, and there's a lot of that. But it kind of mirrors what you see with the detransitioning community. The kids that are detransitioning, they just don't get the coverage. They don't hit the algorithm. They're silenced. The media is not going to cover it. You're not going to see it on CNN. You're probably not going to see it on Fox News.
Yeah.
But when you do see it, it's a Candace Owens, it's a Byron Donalds, it's, and they go, oh, well, you're the outlier. And it's like, no, that's not the reality of the situation.
They don't pay attention to them. They discount them because they're the wrong kind of black person.
Right.
They're a Republican or a conservative black person.
Yep.
And so what they say is discounted. And when they say, oh, conservatives or Republicans don't want black people to vote, they're completely ignoring, number one, how Donald Trump did in the last election, or the fact that in every single election since Trump started it back in 2016, where he's gotten more and more and more black support in every election.
Well, it's because he does the right thing by people.
Yeah.
It's not that he's doing the right thing for the black community and excluding the white community or the Asian community or the Indian community.
He just does everybody right.
He does the right thing for people.
Yeah.
He wants people to succeed. He wants people to make money. And he doesn't care what color that is. He cares about green.
Well, and here's the deal, and then we'll move on. But the reason why Chuck Schumer is pulling the race card, and all these other folks are pulling the race card too, is because of all the wins that Donald Trump is racking up. So, I mean, we've got jobs are up, GDP is looking good. Yeah. Just this morning, there's a new announcement of a deal with South Korea.
Yeah.
There is a deal with the EU. We have the framework in place for China, Japan.
And then we're not paying any tariffs on those imports.
Which
we're
is
getting
crazy.
access to all these markets. We're going to be able to send over Ford F-150s to Korea, and there's going to be no tariff on that.
Right.
Like, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Also, I think it's been undersold how important it is having RFK looking at the food supply here,
right,
and how all of a sudden all of our agriculture is being opened up across the globe, because you see a lot of the stuff in our food supply has been banned over in Europe. So I think that plays a heavy role in that opening up as well. But Trump has just been unbelievable, and they can't celebrate the wins, and it also leaves them no opportunities to talk about how to improve what's wrong, even if there were opportunities to do that, something the Democrats don't do. And I think it was Scott Jennings on CNN who said it best. It's like, the Democrats are in a deep hole right now, and it's because of their own doing.
Yeah. Well, who's going to trust the Democrats because of everything that we've seen over the last, 8, 12 years? I mean, it's interesting. I was reading a headline today, and the headline was the most shocking political scandal in the history of political scandals, something like that. And I'm thinking, well, which one is it? Is it the Biden cognitive cover-up?
Is it the auto pen?
Is it the auto pen? Is it, or is it Obama and Hillary teaming up with George Soros, which is in the news this week now, to do what they could to derail Trump's first 2 years?
What website was it? If you tell me what website it was, I can almost guarantee I can guess which controversy it was.
I believe it was the Daily Mail.
Then they're talking about Epstein.
They actually, no, they weren't. They actually were talking about the news where Russian collusion, Russiagate, where they tried to set up Donald Trump and set him up for the Mueller investigation. Because this news is breaking, but bottom line is when you have, according to the Daily Mail and these declassified documents, you've got Obama in office, working in conjunction with Hillary Clinton's campaign. They are working with George Soros.
Yeah.
To try to tie Donald Trump, knowingly tie him to false accusations of colluding with the Russians, ultimately to lead to the Mueller investigation. That is literally overthrowing the government.
Yeah. So we weren't really going to dive into this because it's so developing, but do you believe, because there's a lot of talk on the internet, how they came across burn bags in an unknown skiff.
I don't understand this. Like, if it's in a burn bag, why wasn't it burned?
It was our friend Aaron said to me, he said, it really does have a passports on 9/11 kind of vibe to it.
Yeah, it does. It does. So
it was in a hidden skiff that nobody knew about.
I don't know. It does seem awfully convenient.
Hillary's got real issues, though.
She absolutely has real issues.
And there's clips of Trump. He did an interview with Miranda Devine, and he was like, I didn't want to arrest her in 2016. I didn't want to press charges. I didn't want to indict because it would have tore the country apart, and I wanted to heal the country. And I truly believe he went into that presidency in 16 with that eye of healing the country, and the Democrats went, screw you. So then I guess the question would be why? And there's a lot of theories out there that as Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton was getting massive amounts of money to the Clinton Foundation.
Sure, of course.
Hundreds of millions of dollars in donations. And as the theory goes, when she was going to win this presidency and everybody knew she was going to win this presidency, all those donations, all those IOUs were going to come paid off.
Yep.
And they were going to, point foreign policy in the direction that she said they were going to do because of these donations.
Mm-hmm.
And then when she doesn't win,
all of a sudden they realize all those documents and all of that paper trail, the breadcrumbs.
Well,
so
and
they
then
needed
all these donations to the Clinton Foundation, she can't cash the IOUs in.
Right.
So then people want to know what the hell happened. And that's another reason they pushed the Russia collusion.
They wanted to distract Trump from finding out the truth about Hillary, Clinton Foundation, and all that.
But it was also
corruption.
the theories online is also that it's also distracting the foreign governments who donated all these hundreds of millions of dollars.
There's that too.
To the Clinton Foundation.
Yep.
Could be. I don't know. It's just a theory.
At this point, nothing would surprise me.
I think there's the Clinton Foundation in general needs to be heavily investigated.
Heavily audited.
Yeah.
By I don't want to say Republicans because I don't want it to be partisan.
Like send the IRS in or something.
Yeah, you can send the IRS in, but just go through it like a fine-tooth comb.
Yep.
Because the people in Haiti have a lot of questions.
They say it takes, what was the joke? It takes a village to raise a child. To ask Hillary, she took a few. Remember that?
Yep, I absolutely do. Now, we were going to talk about kids and cell phones.
Yeah, that's actually a good pivot point because Hillary Clinton, we know how she feels about cell phones. She smashes them with hammers.
She did. Well, and by the way, I will also say, just to put a cap on real quickly the previous thing we were talking about, the other reason why they wanted to get Trump involved in all of this Russia collusion accusations is to distract from Hillary's own email server problems, which was going on at the time.
Yeah.
So with
insane.
with their partners in the media, they wanted to give everybody something else to focus on Trump-Russia collusion so that people would stop looking at Hillary and the servers and all that.
Do you remember that press conference from Comey?
I was on the air.
Oh, did you cover that live?
Oh, I can't. I think I did. I think I covered it live, and I lost my mind.
Because he comes out and he goes, "Yeah, she did all of this, but we don't find any reason to charge her."
No reason. What was it? No reasonable prosecutor would bring charges. And I mean, my head is exploding. It's like, why do you watch all of the evidence that you just laid out?
Yeah.
How do you say
smashing
this?
cell phones after they've been subpoenaed?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that was a key moment in that election.
It was.
Because it was like, oh, damn, the rot that Trump is talking about really is there, isn't it?
Funny thing is, though, Comey ended up, helping put into office Donald Trump, a guy who he ultimately absolutely abhors.
As you can tell by seashell pictures on Instagram.
Absolutely. Kids and cell phones. All right, so
there's a new study out, and in a nutshell, study tracked over 100,000 people ages 18 to 24. And they wanted to examine the effects of childhood smartphone ownership on adult mental health, okay? Those who got smartphones before age 13 showed much higher rates of suicidal thoughts, aggression, and emotional struggles. Girls especially affected, with 48% of those who got phones at age 5 to 6 reporting suicidal thoughts compared to 28% at age 13. Researchers are urging policy changes because of this, recommending age restrictions and mandatory digital literacy training to protect developing minds. So I think it's a good conversation to have with you because you raise kids before smartphones, And now you got Riker, and I'm dealing with it too because Riker's the same age as Kennedy. So
11.
we got same kind of stuff. What are you guys doing with smartphones?
So I will hearken back to when I was far younger, first marriage, and I had a couple of kids growing up, and it was really as smartphones were really developing. I mean, we had dumb phones and all that,
Yeah.
but
It was 2007 was the unveiling of the iPhone.
Yep.
But then things really kicked up with the App Store.
Yes.
And that was 2008, 2009.
So first marriage, first two kids, now adults, really struggled with, okay, do we allow them to have these phones with all of these apps and everything
Right.
else? It was a big struggle, and it was a big, big conversation. They didn't get them until 17, 18 years old. But now, here in 2025, I've got stepson Riker, and we talk about all of this because there's a lot of evils that are out there with the cell phones, social media, creepers online,
Yeah.
all of that. Not to mention the fact that you worry about conditioning them to a cell phone where all of that input is happening all of the time.
Well, and all these apps are geared to hit your dopamine receptors.
Absolutely.
So I think
Yeah.
that's one of the things that you're seeing with this. It's like Facebook got it down early. That notification bubble gives you a dopamine hit.
Yep.
All the games that kids are playing, the Minecraft, the Roblox, they're programmed with the psychology in the background of how to keep the dopamine hits coming and essentially addict these kids to the device. And then you're burning out the dopamine receptors
Yeah.
before they hit 13.
Yeah, and then they're always looking for that next high,
Yeah.
and things keep developing. So what we do in my house is we don't ban Roblox and all that other stuff. We don't ban it because, to me, you have to, at the very least, get them used to what's out there
Yep.
without them getting addicted to it. Because then, if you do ban all that stuff, and then they get out into the real world and they realize all that stuff is there, then they jump in with both feet.
Yeah, you don't want them to be like an Amish kid when they go out on that first visit to the real world and they just lose their mind and then
Right.
they essentially turn into Hunter Biden.
I think it's yes.
You know what I mean? It happens.
It's about education. It's about them knowing what's out there, knowing, to me, what the perils are as well, and giving them the context and the perspective to be able to deal with everything that is out there. Now, I'm lucky because with Riker, at least thus far, he's not really that as much into the phone and the social media as he is into the games and all of those things that he plays, where ultimately the game that he plays, they build stuff.
Yeah.
And so we don't freak out because the games that he's playing are more for intellectual stimulation. He's
Yep.
learning how to build things, creativity,
Yeah.
team building,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. But I will tell you that the big challenges that parents face today, it's twofold. Number one is you do have kids who do get addicted to the dopamine, the social media, all that kind
Yep.
of stuff. But do you know what the big problem is these days? It's that parents are also addicted to their phones.
It's true.
And so you have two things going on. You have the parents who are so addicted to their phones that they're not watching their kids. And so the kids are becoming addicted too. And
And
now
they're picking it up from mom and dad who are doing it.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, you know it. We work with our phones all the time. And
Yep.
I've battled this because when I was doing Turning Point stuff at home, it's like I kind of want to be around the kids.
Yeah.
But if I'm down in the living room, I'm glued to a laptop or a cell phone while I'm around the kids. So it's this weird balance. It's like, do I go upstairs and work in the office, or is it okay to be kind of glued to my tech in front of the kids? It's tough because I do want to be around them, but I
Yep.
also don't want to set that bad example.
Yep.
For us, and maybe I'm probably a bit more overprotective than you because Kennedy. I don't know. I worry about the creeps. I really do. I really worry about the creeps.
You have to worry about the creeps.
But one of the big things that's tough, and I see it with my nephew, is that you can't, like, there used to be such a separation as a kid. So I'd have my neighborhood friends, and they didn't know my school friends.
Yep.
And then I'd have my baseball friends, and they didn't know my neighborhood friends. And now it's like, no matter what, you can't get away from those social circles. So if something awkward happens with your school friends, I used to be able to go hang out with my baseball friends.
Yep.
If something awkward happened with my baseball friends, well, I'm with neighborhood friends for a week. And now it's like you can't get away from that because it's all online. It's all in the group chat. People are still bringing it up. You can't leave and recalibrate at home.
And it is online forever.
Yeah.
You can't get rid of it.
Yep.
And so when your entire, and for some kids, their social media, their social circle online is their socializing.
Yeah.
And so if something goes wrong and you get beaten up or something happens online and you are embarrassed, you can't get away from it.
Yeah. And we all do stupid, dumb, embarrassing things as kids.
Oh, we do. And then, again, it lives online for a long time. And then when you get older.
But then you see, or you don't, because then you see a tragic thing where an 11-year-old decides that the Facebook group chat got too heavy and they decide to check out. And it's heartbreaking.
So the phones, the distraction from the parents' perspective where they're distracted with their phones. The other thing I would say over the long haul is that parents are also very distracted with dating because there's a lot of people, and I'm divorced, there's a lot of people that are divorced. So they're paying attention to their dating lives. They're paying attention to their phones.
It's interesting.
And so there's a big sociological shift happening away from parenting. And then you could talk about all of the attacks on parenting from the schools, the media. Mom and a dad is not good. You got to have, two moms or two dads or celebrate, one parent households, all these other things as well. And don't even get me started on the attack on religion.
Yeah.
So society has changed. There's a lot of sociological factors involved in parenting today, aside from just the phone.
But it's tough though, because like you also want your kids to be safe.
Yes.
So like me and Virginia just bent the knee. So the kids don't have tablets. The kids don't. If they play video games, we have video games on Friday. But then it's like old school N64 or Game Boy Color.
Yep.
And then for the phone, we just bent the knee for Kennedy. But we didn't get her a smartphone. We got a Bark Watch. Have you heard of that?
I have not. How old is Kennedy?
Kennedy's 11.
Okay.
So, and she's got all these things going on. You know how it is with the activities.
Yep.
And, so she's at theater camp or she's at church camp or she's at a friend's house. And me and the wife were talking. It's like, if something awkward happens or her friend and her get into an argument at a sleepover, it's almost pretty uncomfortable to say, hey, Mrs. So-and-so, can I use your cell phone to call my mom? So we got this Bark Watch, and the Bark Watch it looks like an Apple Watch, but she can only contact the program numbers in it.
Yeah.
And so she only has contact to me and Virginia.
Yep.
It's a GPS tracker on it, and it's only like $15 a month.
That's good. And that's really smart too, because
it's a slow way in.
Yep. Yep. And we probably don't have a lot of time to get into this, but you look at the schools that are banning phones or putting the phones in the bags and all that. What are we seeing? It's happening in Florida. I think I saw it's happening in Texas too. But suicides are down, grades are up.
Yeah.
And kids are becoming much more socialized when you are forced to put the phones away and they're forced to talk to each other.
How do you feel about tech in school in general? Because like, I feel like since the rise in tech, the laptops in the classroom, all those digital distractions, we've seen a lot of test scores plummet.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of the sociological factors I mentioned a few minutes ago are also a big part of that. But I think that, I don't know if tech is responsible for that. I think that kids are studying less because of it. I think that
study less, chat GPT more.
Yeah. Yes, that's exactly right. So, I mean, kids use tech for school, but are they really using the tech for school? If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now I got a text from my daughter because we were talking about this before this, and so I asked her, because I'm old and I have diminishing mind. So I said, how old were you when you got your first smartphone? She said, 16, 17 years old. it reminded me of the battles with my daughter about whether or not she could have one of these smartphones. So that was 9 years ago.
Yeah.
She now has a little one of her own, and she says, well, unfortunately, there's pedos everywhere. So as an adult, I now understand your concerns when I was 16 years old.
True.
So
it's tough, man.
So the age-old saying, you'll thank me for this one day.
One of the things that we did was we kind of really cultivated this circle of friends around Kennedy, and we spoke with other parents, and we're like, let's all not do it.
That's really smart.
Let's all wait till they're 16.
Yeah.
So then there's no, Ashley got one. Why can't I get one?
Yep.
Miranda got a cell phone. Why can't I? Like, we all kind of talked, and we're like, okay, these are the school friends. Let's do no cell phones.
That is really smart.
There's a couple outliers, and then there's a couple people that have the bark watches and stuff like that. But you gotta build a community.
How can people find a bark watch? This is not an official ad, by the way.
No,
but that sounds amazing.
Just Google bark watch.
BARK. Okay, bark watch.
And it was like, I think it was like, and no, it's not an ad. It's not an ad at all. But it's just after doing hours of research, this is where we landed. It's like $7 a month until the watch is paid off, and then $15 a month for service.
Okay.
So it costs us $22 a month. You can program the numbers that you want into it. There's no apps.
Mm-hmm.
She's got a calculator, and she can send emojis. And I will tell you this: it's only been a couple weeks since we had it, but it's really sweet to be able to text my little girl in the middle of the day just a little heart, or get one out of nowhere, and that's been really cool. But I don't want that to be with strangers,
Right.
Like, so the fact that it's locked down is good.
Let me ask you this, and it's kind of funny because Riker sent me a text in the middle of the day. He was with his visiting his dad, but he sent me a text the other day, middle of the day on the weekend, and he'd sent me a screenshot or something of something that he was building.
Cool.
In Roblox. Same thing. Very sweet. But how honest are you with Kennedy about the dangers that are lurking? Because we have that conversation with Riker all the time without trying to scare him.
Yeah, no. I'm brutally honest whenever a question comes to me. If the question is posed to me, then I'm fine with being honest, because I feel like at that point she's ready for the information.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because she's looking for it.
Mhm.
So at that point, I don't want her to look elsewhere, and I'm grateful that she came to me. And so I'll be as honest as I can be.
One of the things I'm curious about is, as we wrap this up, what do people do if they're watching this? What are their ideas as far as how early is too early for a kid with a cell phone? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, let us know in the comments what your tech strategy is for your kids, because I think this is one of those things where, like, we do have to come together as a community and kind of at least iron out some guidelines. I know that I've had them on my show before, Parents Who Fight.
Yes.
They're a great organization, and they can teach you how to lock down your internet from your router. So before it even gets to the kid's cell phone, there's blocks on it. So you don't even have to worry about the parental blocks on the cell phone.
Love it.
And there's stuff you can do. There are ways to protect your kids out there. You just got to look for it, I guess.
Do us a favor, like and subscribe. Follow me on the socials, Facebook and X, mainly at Dan Mandis Show.
Yeah, you can find me at Chris Hand on air. Again, let us know in the comments. What do you think? What do you think about the outrage over Sydney Sweeney? What do you think about Cory Booker's toxic masculinity? And do you have a tech plan for your young kids? I especially think it's helpful with, and it's sad, you have a lot of grandparents raising kids right now. A lot.
Mm-hmm.
And they're raising kids in a world that they know nothing about.
Boy, that is absolutely true.
And it's heartbreaking. So I think that whatever your tech plan is, or maybe you just say, I don't have one, help. I think that the comments is a great place to start kind of diving in for that. But people need to have this conversation more, I think.
Absolutely. Like and subscribe, and maybe we'll read some of your comments next week. And thanks for watching Mostly Peaceful with Dan and Chris.
Yeah, well, maybe we can read some comments on the Crisscross on Monday.
Absolutely. Join us if you're in Nashville, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. If you are outside of Nashville and outside of Tennessee, you can always find us at 99.7WTN.com. We also broadcast on YouTube. If you like to watch radio shows, YouTube, X, Facebook, 997WTN.com, and now Rumble.
Yep. And like I said, this is episode 4. We're really grateful for you guys tuning in. The haters said it wouldn't last, but we have proved them wrong once again, haven't we, Dan?
Will we make it to 5?
Oh, let us know in the comments if you think episode 5 is a good idea.
All right, we'll see you next time.